Hello, Marcus here with the Code Group. I'm recording a short video that a lot of you've requested, kind of a consolidated version of some of the things that we've previously shown in online meetings, live presentations, and private meetings, and so on. This is about how we use AI specifically around dealing with content, generating content, categorizing content, and so on. So let me switch over to my screen. What we are seeing here is an internal application we use at Code. Code has a number of different divisions, from consulting to staffing to training to events to the magazine. So we could look at things like what articles do we have in the system, what people do we have in the system, what events are scheduled, and so on. Today we're going to focus exclusively on articles, however. So here is an interface that allows us to query our database of articles. And I'm just going to go and then randomly pick an issue of the magazine, see what articles we've had in that particular issue. And we could now go in and we could pull up a random article, say deep dive into working with gRPC, and we could take a look at that. So what we have in here is things like the title, an abstract of the article, but also we have the actual content of the article here in Markdown format, as well as a preview of it. And we could even go and we could view this article online, which now opened on my other screen. Here it is. So this is what the article would appear like online or in a printed issue of the magazine. So that's the basic setup. Now there's a few points of interest in here. One is we have an abstract with every article. The abstract is something that we use in things like search results when you have to display a list of articles, or if for whatever reason we need a short version of the article. And this is a short and not very good abstract. But what we can do here is we have a button up here called Generate Abstract, and I can click that button and an AI goes out, reads the entire article, comprehends the article like a software developer would. This is not a trivial task, comprehending what's in a technical article for software developers, and then creates a short synopsis of what's in that particular article. So, wow, that was pretty good. And that's certainly a very, very useful feature. I'm using a large language model, GPT-4o in this case, which constantly changes for us. But currently we're using GPT-4o for that. But baked into this old style Windows application that was retrofitted with this feature set. And this is one of many applications that we use. This happens to be Windows app. We have web apps and so on, mobile apps, or the usual stuff that you would expect. Now, this was a simple way of invoking the AI, but we also have a more sophisticated one. We have this Code Copilot here. And in here I could do a few things. Like I could say, go read that article and create me a social media post for this article. And boom, here we go. Created a typical social media post with hashtags and all the things that we behind the scenes ask it to do. This is an AI that works much like if we were to go to ChatGPT, except it's much more purpose-driven and smart about what we want to do. So that's an interesting thing. I could also do something else here. I could ask it a question. I could say, do we have any similar articles in our database? If so, please list them. And by the way, if I had a typo in there, it really wouldn't matter. The language model would still understand it. Also, I can ask in any language, pretty much. I could have asked this in Spanish or whatever else. So what this now has to do to answer this question, it has to say, okay, well, to know if we had any similar articles in our database, I first need to understand what's in the article. So again, the AI goes out, reads the article, comprehends it, and basically gets the gist of it and says, this is an article about gRPC and .NET. So it uses that as a search term to find in our database of articles all articles that have to do with gRPC and .NET. And it does so using an AI vector search, in our case, that happens to be Azure AI Search. Could also be other things. So it then retrieves the articles that are potential matches, reads through those articles, and then was satisfied that two of them were similar to the current one, and it actually displays them in the list for me here. And so that's kind of interesting. So not sure why the second article is interested. It even gave me a little bit of a reasoning there, but I could go and I could ask other things. I could say, why is the second article similar? And so, we could now start a whole conversation about it, and it's now going to go on and find more information about it. Doesn't really matter what it's, but the point being, we now have a very sophisticated version that is, capable of reasoning over the actual content as if it was a human being, or possibly better than a human being. And I think that's a very significant step forward. The same thing applies for a lot of different industries, whether you're dealing with items you're selling or whether you're dealing with actual article content, or we've done a lot of this stuff in the tourism industry. So tons and tons of uses for this. I like showing this one because the concept of an article is easy to understand, but it applies to all kinds of similar data as well.